Oh my gosh. Thank you. Now sit down because we don't have a whole lot of time. Now, I know, okay, everyone has been talking about honesty, passion, truth, and I know what all of you are wondering. And I'll tell you the answer. It is not my real hair color. My real hair is brown. This is red. But do you think it works? I love this. The women in the audience right now are looking up, they're going, oh my gosh, it works. It goes with the shirt. And then there's one back there who's like, no, 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 honey, we can tell that it's fake. You want to go with the natural. The men are sitting here going, where's the PowerPoint? Hello? Okay? Men, here is a secret about women. Last year, I attended the Women in Leadership Conference. 400 executive women and me. Now, when I go to a male conference or male leadership conference, networking looks something like this. Hi, I'm Stephen Robbins. Are you here with your parents? This is true. I'm serious. This actually happens. I was at one networking event. It was called the Burning Questions Conference, right? And you had to be either a Fortune 500 CEO or a thought leader to be there. So since I'm there and I have the name tag, I'm pretty obviously in one of those two categories. I'm standing talking to a bunch of executives. One of them turns to me, hands me his drink, and says, excuse me, boy, could you refill this for me? So the question is, what does authenticity mean when you're not the one who's the mainstream? I walk into the room of 400 executive women, and you women, excuse me for leaning, my hips are not doing so well, as some of you know. You women aren't like men. You may have noticed this. The men have not noticed this, but I'm sure you've noticed it. When you get a group of women together, every single story and presenter, and this was, by the way, we're talking women who have started multi-billion-dollar companies were there. And they would get up, and the first thing they would say is, I just had to drop my kids off from soccer practice. I'm sorry that I'm here late. And I'm sitting here listening. This is not like any standard business conference I've ever been to. Then Goldie Hawn was one of the keynoters. She got up. Have any of you actually had the privilege of seeing Goldie Hawn in person? Right. Amazing woman. I thought, okay, bubbleheaded beach blonde, la la la, Goldie Hawn. That was my impression of her beforehand. The woman gets up and starts talking about prenatal brain development, which happens to be an interest of mine, so I knew that she actually knew what the heck she was doing. Her IQ must be 160. And if you've ever dealt with really advanced Buddhist lamas, they have this sort of aura about them, this aura of peacefulness and kindness and really centeredness. She had it. If I had to make a list of the 10 most enlightened people on the planet, trust me, Goldie Hawn would be nowhere near that list. And there she was. Like, okay, so number one, intelligent. Number two, enlightened Buddhist Lama. Who knew? And she's sitting here talking. Halfway through her presentation, she goes, excuse me. And then she takes her blouse off. And I'm sitting here going, this must be another one of these women things I do not understand. And she looks out at the audience and she goes, excuse me, girls, hot flash. Now, at the Q&A period, I stood up and she looked out. She goes, oh, look, a man's here. And I said, I would like to thank you for giving me my vicarious enjoyment of the first hot flash of my career. And it was wonderful. If anyone here knows Goldie, I really want to meet her, so an introduction would be appreciated. But the key difference there between that and a male conference is that women connect emotionally first. And that, men, is why I open with hair color. Women understand how important hair color is. We can get to the facts later. With men, we do it in the other direction. We do our transactions first, and then if we have time, we go out for a drink. With women, it's the connect first. With leaders, it's the same kind of thing. Leadership is about an emotional connection. Now, everyone else up to this point, and by the way, if you look at my handouts, I'm not going to cover anything that's in my handouts. That's why they're handouts. I'm getting a thumbs up. Yes, I don't want to give you another framework. I'm not going to give you the 15 dimensions of leadership across 3 different categories in 5 different dimensions and 4 different spatial planes. No. What I'm going to give you instead is 1, because the session is just only long enough to do 1, but of course if next time I have more time, I can give more. I'm going to give you 1 behavioral exercise that will make a profound difference for you and your clients. That's what we're going to do. All right? Now, I am like the world's worst MIT graduate ever. I have a Palm Pilot, I have an iPod, I have a BlackBerry, I have a cell phone. I even have a little man purse to keep them all in, right? And if, by the way, if I'm ever presenting and I have a heart attack or something, please take it off me before the EMTs arrive, okay? But I have my little man purse, and I go over with all of my technology. And what I have figured out is that the more technology I use, the more and more distant I am from other people. I'm the MIT. It's true. Email relationships don't do it like hugs, okay? Number two, so technology, so I'm a horrible MIT student because I think technology drives us apart, not brings us together. Two is I'm a really sucky Harvard MBA. I do not believe that the sole purpose of the human race is to maximize profits for corporations. Sorry, I don't buy into that. The idea that you can dignify a human being by calling them, they used to say human resources, right? That's the, oh boy, we get to be a resource. And now they're like, okay, well, how about our human assets? And I'm like, well, let's see. Do we treat people as well as we treat bricks? The answer is no. If you're a company and say you own a manufacturing plant and it breaks, you're going to pump as much money into it as you need to fix it. Let's say you have an employee and the employee breaks their leg and the health plan doesn't cover all of it. Do you go to your employee and say, let me give you extra money to cover it? No, you don't. You say, well, you had a health plan, and if your costs exceed your health plan, well, you'll just have to find a way to make do. So, in fact, we don't treat people as well as we treat assets. And the current buzzword, right, now it's human capital. Oh boy, we're dignifying human beings by saying that they're as important as money. To me, this is not progress. To me, progress is understanding that human beings are a whole different thing. When you're talking about human beings who are leaders, by definition, these are the people who are out in front going in new directions. When you're out in front going in a new direction, and by the way, this doesn't matter if you're the leader of an organization or if you're just the parent of a family who wants to bring your family someplace, or if you just have a reading group. This is not about business. Leadership in general is about having a vision and making it happen. And if your vision is pushing the edge of what people think is reasonable, by definition, you're not going to have a lot of support. It's going to be scary. How can it be anything else? Right after 9/11, I went to a Harvard Business School colloquium on terrorists and what they want. And as you can imagine, the primary discussion was, oh, they're envious of our way of life. They want our money. And I kind of raised my hand. I said, would the fact that we have posted armed military guards and women without veils in their holiest of holy places maybe has something to do with their hostility towards us? You would not have seen a group try to shut me down faster. I mean, they basically looked at me and said, we'll show you a terrorist action if you keep up with this line of thinking, young man. If you want to get out there and be the person who's the anti-whatever, the person who has different ideas, you have to have the courage to be able to remain true to those ideas despite not getting the reinforcement from the people around you. It's all about courage. And it's all about identifying what are the beliefs that cut off your action even before you start to take it. So I want you to do a very, very, very quick exercise. I would like you to think of something you would like to do but are afraid to do. Right? With me, getting my hair dyed. Believe it or not, I'm 41 years old. It took me, I had dreamt since the age of 20 of doing something unusual to my hair. The best I could come up with was let's dye it red. And it took me 21 years to get the courage, right? This is like my little shameful thing of like, boy, I'm brave. Okay? So think of something like that. Okay? Think of something that, getting your toenails painted wildly, showing up, to a business meeting in a bikini. I don't know. I did that once. Don't do that. Or if you do, work out a lot more than I did first. I am, by the way, those little tags they put in clothes, the RFID tags now to do inventory control so they can also track you wherever you go. I think that there should be other tags in clothes where if you're the sort of person who shouldn't be wearing that, the clothes just self-destruct. Okay? It would save us a lot of trouble.